Hey, so let's crack on. This is topic three, score. We're going to go through some of the basic topics we should be looking at, and in the next couple of videos, we'll go through the most common exam questions. If you want to challenge yourself and go for some of the bits of the syllabus that aren't always examined, get into Zeta, get through all of that. We'll try and do as much of it as we can, okay? But this is really the main things, okay? So let's just start off then, nice and easy. So what are quadratics? Okay, so we're thinking quadratics, you should be thinking to yourself your trinomials, like x squared take away 3x plus 4, something like that. Okay? It's equations where you've got the highest power 2. Our last video we looked at polynomials. For the higher syllabus, that's generally equations where we've got powers of 3 and 4. Okay? For this one, you're thinking about your quadratics. Okay? So your trinomials power of 2. And what does that look like? Well, that really is us studying curves. And we're very obsessed with the roots or the turning point, but a lot of the time we're obsessed with the roots of the equation. So that would be where this trinomial, so let's give it a generic ax squared plus bx plus c, that's where that is equal to 0. Okay? 0 would be the y. You think of this equation as y equals this. So up here we've got positive y's, down here we've got negative y's, so that's where y is equal to the roots of the equation. That's one of the main skills we're going to be looking at. So first of all, from last year, if we wanted to solve one of these quadratics, and in fact I'll just put that 0, if we wanted to solve a quadratic, we've got a few options. We could be using quadratic formula, which always works. You will have to remember that now. You will not be given that. So for any equation, any quadratic, and the way I've written it out there with the a, the b, and the c, quadratic formula, negative b, discriminant, okay, that's going to give you your two solutions. Okay, that will give you your two roots, or it won't work, and that means you've got no roots. Okay, but you've got your quadratic formula that always works, and then you've just got your good old factorizing. Factorizing comes into this quite a lot, so make sure you remember your factorizing. So you've got common factor first of all. Always take a common factor, and then you could be using difference of two squares, or you could be looking at your trinomial. Okay, so difference of two squares would be something like x squared take away 81 is equal to 0, so you've got x take away 9x plus 9 if you remember that, and that would be x then is equal to 9, or x is equal to negative 9. Or trinomial like x squared, let's go for 6, I'll go for plus 5x equals 0, so that would be x plus 3, x plus 2, because I'm looking for numbers that add to give me the middle number and multiply to give me the last number. And that's then going to be x equals negative 3 as a solution, and x equals negative 2. What I've done there is I've worked out the roots of these equations. I've worked out this 2 points here, where it crosses the x-axis. That's what we're doing when we're factorising. So that's a big skill. That in itself probably won't come up, but you'll need to know that for the parts that do come up at higher. Okay, so that's the stuff you should know already. Okay, the skill that we kind of did this bit last year, but it's a lot harder this year, is complete the square. Complete the square. So that is really just a rearrange. Okay, so it's x squared take away 5x plus 7 as an example. What we're going to do is rewrite it so we could find the turning point. Okay, so that one you're going to write it in the form x take away a squared plus b. And we'll go through a few examples like that later on. You're just rewriting this, you're not changing the equation, so actually you can multiply this bracket out at the end and you should get the same answer. And this is all about kind of taking information you've got and putting it into a nicer form. If you want to know what the turning point of this is, if you can complete the square, that will help you find the turning point, because your turning point will be change the sign of this, that. Okay, so your turning point in this case equal to A and B. because here we've got negative a, so change the sign, stays the same. That'll be your turning point. We'll go through a few of them. We've also got the discriminant, so we've got our b squared minus 4ac. That's quite important. So the b squared minus 4ac discriminant, which is part of the quadratic formula, you'll see, is all about how many roots have we got. I'm so sorry, these lines are rubbish. I just actually draw a line. I keep thinking I can freehand it, and then awful. So let's say we've got, I'll draw three curves. I'll draw this curve in blue. That's got two solutions. I'll draw this curve. I'll change the color of that. Yeah, that one in green. That's got one solution. And I'll do this one in orange. This one has no solutions. So the blue one, b squared minus 4ac, is greater than 0. That has got two real roots. Board's falling off the page. The green one, that's when b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. And that's got two equal roots. I should actually probably change the top one to say two real and distinct, i.e. they're both different. And this, so I should really say two real and equal. Green. Roots. And the one in orange, b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. For that one, we have no real roots. That's when you get into your imaginary numbers, which is in next year's syllabus. So the real part just means we're dealing with conventional numbers. We're not dealing with imaginary numbers. You've got two distinct roots. Here you've got two real and equal roots, i.e. one root. And here you've got no real roots. It doesn't cross the axis. So that's very important. What am I doing for time? A. That can be dressed up in another type of question, which is the intersection of a line and a curve or two curves. So that's very similar to 2 points of intersection, 1 point of intersection, i.e. a tangent, or no points of intersection. It's the exact same skill really, but all you're doing if something asks about point of intersection is you would put your equations equal to each other. So let's say we've got, try and draw it, scroll down a little bit, spoiling the next bit of work, but space, let me pause it. Ta-da! As if by magic. So yeah, points of intersection is the exact same thing, but what you'll get is maybe like a curve. So x squared plus 3x plus 1. Where does that curve meet the line 2x take away 3? And all you have to do is put everything over to one side. So x squared will take away 2x from both sides. I'll add 3. So where does that curve meet this line? Well, it meets when this factorizes. So if we put this through the b squared minus 4ac, it will tell us the nature of those points. If we just solve this by factorizing, it will tell us the actual x coordinates or coordinate that works. Okay, so point of intersection, do these intersect, what's the nature of it, get it over to one side equals 0, and then put it through b squared minus 4ac. And if you want to know the point, you could just factorize it all the way and solve it. And that's pretty much everything that we could get asked. Just going to double check my list. Factorizing, yep. Oh no, we didn't talk about inequalities. Right, inequalities. Let me pause this. Ta-da! Again, as if by magic. So for inequalities, what we're doing for that is we're factorizing, we're finding the roots and we're sketching. So we'll get a question, tell me where x squared plus 2x plus 1 is greater than 0 or less than 0. And all we do is we do this equal to 0 so that we can factorize it to find the roots. Then we do a little sketch and we say, okay, well, where is this? Greater than 0, it's greater than 0. All these numbers here, and that's it. So if this was negative 1 and 2, it'd be, okay, well, when x is greater than 2, or when x is less than negative 1. Right, so I'm sorry I'm rushing that, but this is just a quick summary anyway. So this is roughly what we're looking at, and we'll go into each question in turn in the next videos. Hope that was helpful.